Hi, my name is Jenna Armith, and I'm going to be introducing you to my family. It's the Martinez-Smith family, and I'm just going to share with you my family scenario one because it gives a great introduction into the family, and I can kind of go from there into the interpersonal communication. The Martinez-Smith family is comprised of Nathan Smith and Carlos Martinez. They are a gay or homosexual couple. They've been together 8 years and married for 5 years. They have adopted fraternal twins, Jacob and Jackson, and then Lucy, the family dog. Nathan Smith is 37 years old. He is white Caucasian, a high school graduate. He is currently a night shift lab technician with no overtime, but was previously a lab manager. He is an advocate for the LGBTQ community, and he has extended family in Chicago, Illinois. Carlos Martinez is 32 years old. He is Hispanic Mexican. He's bilingual, so he speaks both English and Spanish. He has a bachelor's of science with a master's, which unfortunately means he has lots of student loan debt. He is currently seeking employment, but was a high school history teacher. He has type 1 diabetes, and he does not have a relationship with his family because they did not accept his lifestyle choice. The Martinez-Smith family has adopted twins, Jacob and Jackson. They are both 3 years old and white and Caucasian. Jacob has autism and is nonverbal, and Jackson has no developmental delays. Jacob and Jackson were born prematurely at 34 weeks. Nathan and Carlos adopted the boys at 1 year of age after taking care of them since infancy. And then Jacob and Jackson have been in childcare because both of their fathers were working. And then Jacob also receives autism and speech support. Lucy is 8 years old. She does have vision problems. She also has allergies and needs medication for those allergies. Because she has vision problems, she barks at everything. And then because of her age, she is sometimes having accidents in the house or apartment. So about the community, the Martinez-Smith family has actually just relocated to Columbus, Indiana from Chicago, Illinois due to a new job. Due to COVID, a lot of companies had to lay off workers and cut costs. And unfortunately, Nathan was laid off due to the company needing to cut costs. The Martinez-Smith family could not afford living expenses and childcare with Nathan's layoff in Chicago. Luckily, Nathan was able to find and accept a job in Columbus, Indiana. Unfortunately, it is for less pay, and the family is living in a 2-bedroom apartment complex. Carlos Martinez is unemployed at this time, but is seeking employment. When the family was in Chicago with 2 incomes, they were middle class. And while they are technically not considered poverty level with 1 income, they have significantly less, only bringing in $47,000 annually, which is a little less than $4,000 gross income a month. That means that over half of their monthly income goes just towards housing and utilities. So for this family, their priorities include low-cost childcare for Jacob and Jackson, autism and speech support for Jacob, applying and being hired for a teaching position for Carlos, a doctor for Carlos to manage his type 1 diabetes, and pediatrician for the twins, a low-cost veterinarian for Lucy, and possible student loan assistance. So being new to the community, unfortunately, they do not know of any local resources at this time. And so I've just included some different community resources. A lot of these resources were used throughout all of my scenarios. General resources, I included United Way of Bartholomew County, and I like United Way because they provide specific information and local community resources and tools. And their website is very easy to use. In fact, when you go to it, you can look up things by different categories. So they have one for income, for employment. At this point, they have some for holiday assistance. So there are so many different options to choose from. And then the 211 call center is also nice because you just dial 211, or they do have a toll-free 800 number, and that provides local community resources as well. And what's nice about that is that you can actually talk to somebody. So if you have a very specific need, they can introduce you to an organization that can help right away. I included just some low-cost veterinarians here in town. For low-cost childcare and preschool options, I only included 2, but I chose Children's Inc. and On My Way Pre-K. For autism support services, again, in this community, there are a lot of options, and I just included 3. For employment opportunities, I chose Work One Center, which is kind of nice. This is provided by the Indiana state government. And again, it provides unemployment insurance, includes job searches, and then also lists different trainings in the state of Indiana. And then, of course, I listed the school corporation here in town for Carlos, since he was a teacher before. And with being bilingual, it's probably even better for employment opportunities. For doctors, I only included 3, even though there are many, many more. And then kind of the same with pediatricians. I included the 2 pediatric offices, but there are other locations that they can go for pediatrics. When it comes to interpersonal communication and relationships, the twins are very, very lucky. Jacob and Jackson have very good parents who provide a lot of support. They provide a lot of affection, and they also provide that sense of security for them. They are a very tight-knit family. The only thing is with moving to a brand new community, that is a little scary. Again, the boys are only 3 years old. And for Jacob, who has autism, any big lifestyle changes are difficult. They are going to Children's Inc. So as you go further through my scenarios, the family chose Children's Inc. to send their children to. So they at least are starting to get that structure and routine that 3-year-olds do really well with. So they're getting that. Because they're only 3, they don't really have much of a peer connection yet. They kind of do more parallel play at this age. Jacob and Jackson, though, with being twins, are very close. So eventually, as they get older, they will have to decide if they're going to be in the same class or in different classes to kind of grow. When it comes to community connectedness, because they are brand new to the community, that's still developing. So they have their school community now, which is great. And Jackson, as you go further through too, does find autism support at a step ahead. And what's nice with the step ahead is they go into the schools and at home. So he has support throughout the day and at home if needed. He is also receiving speech through them also. When it comes to the parents, as a educator, it would obviously be very important to keep in touch. What was not mentioned is Nathan's job is a night shift job. So it's mostly talking to Carlos, just describing anything that, the children, if they're having difficulties, what they're doing really well in, how they're becoming acclimated to the classroom and to the other kids. Talking to them about how a step ahead is going, since they are getting those needs met at school also. And then also just helping provide the resources that they need with talking with them. And what I will do as an educator, and something that I really think is neat, is providing in my newsletter a community resource highlight. And that can be something, again, just very general, like a United Way, or this time of year, it'd be great to include information on that holiday assistance or coat drives. But I think that's really fun. And then even with the local library, they have a lot of free events for families. So that's something to kind of introduce. With them, they don't really have that peer connection yet because, again, they're brand new to the community. Nathan is working and is able to meet a few people, but Carlos is kind of taking on the family responsibilities until he finds his job. With the community connectedness, in the last scenario that I did, something that the Martinez-Smith family has done is join a church community. And this is really nice. They were able to find a church that is very inclusive, and it is an LGBTQ community. So it's really nice for them because they're going to be able to meet families that have the same values and beliefs as them. So they're going to get to meet people through that. It also allows them to volunteer in the community that they live in and meet people that way, and also kind of give back. So that is my presentation. I really, really hope you enjoyed it. This was a very fun project to do, and just thank you very much for your time. Bye.